You alright? Hello. Hello. Eh. Oh, hey. Hello. What's up? Hi. Lovely to see you. Hi, everyone. I'm Holly, and I am a professional accent coach or dialect coach, depending on which term you like best and where in the world you are. And I've worked with actors for the past 14 years. And I wanted to make this video because there are a few things that I hear time and time and time again. You're so good at accents. I wish I was that good at them. I'm just not. I just can't get into character because I keep thinking about the stupid American accent. Some people can do accents, and I'm not one of those people. Yeah, I love the play, I love the character, it's totally right for me, but I can't do an RP accent. And when I hear these things, I'm like, no, because a lot of people seem to have this impression that accents are like this magical skill that some people have and some people just don't, and they find them really difficult. And yeah, this might be the case. Like anything in life, some people are naturally better at music, some people are naturally better at drawing, but anyone can learn if they know how to do that. So these are my top 10 tips for mastering any accent that you're working on in the entire magical, wonderful, beautiful world. Tip number 1, give your mouth a workout. Just like a piano player or a guitar player needs to work out their fingers and gain more control and dexterity and strength in them, so do you if you want to work on accents. So every day take a few minutes and think about all of the different muscles that you use to speak. So you've got your jaw, your lips, your tongue, your soft palate, which is the thing that you can feel go up if you yawn, or it's the thing that meets your tongue if you say a k or a g sound. All of these muscles tend to move without us really thinking about them when we're speaking. But if you want to be really, really capable of changing your accent, what you need to do is learn how to control them, get them stronger, and be able to move them individually. Just like dancers need to isolate parts of, move this shoulder, but don't move this one. So do you need to move the middle of your tongue, but keep the tip of your tongue still, maybe on your bottom teeth, or open your mouth without your tongue moving all over the place inside. So any exercises you can do to work on that are going to be super beneficial for you in any accent that you're working with. Number 2, put your mind where your mouth is and get curious. Now that you've worked out those muscles, we need to learn when we use them and how we use them and what sounds come out when we move them in certain ways. So this step is all about getting to know your own speech. Actually think about it when you talk instead of just having it be an automated response that comes from when you were super little and learned how to speak, right? We don't ever pay attention to which muscles in our mouth we're moving in order to make which sounds. So I'm going to put a little list of words up here that you can practice this with, but this works with any word. And what I want you to do is go through the words sound by sound and really pay attention. So the word cat, for example, starts with what sound? K. Okay, so think, what am I moving to make that sound? My tongue. All right, which part of my tongue? The front, the middle, the back? Well, it's the back, okay. And how am I moving it? Is it tense? Is it sustained? Is it one single sound? Does it touch anywhere? While that's happening, where's the front of my tongue? Is it touching my teeth? Is it up in the middle of nothing, somewhere in the roof of my mouth? Am I opening my jaw? See how specific you can get with which parts of your mouth you're moving for which sounds. Because the more awareness you can build in the way that you speak, the easier it's going to be to take those sounds and transform them if we need to when we're learning how to do any accent. Number 3, use your imagination. Images can play a really, really good role when you're learning how to do accents. So do a little experiment. Just take any sound, make it a vowel sound to start with, and make that sound and see if you can feel in your mouth if there's a shape that you would associate with that sound or a color that you associate with that sound. For example, the sound ah, like cat from the previous tip, might look something like this. Or the sound ooh, like you, might look something more like this. So getting this kind of visual image association is really helpful before we start working on accents, because that becomes another tool you can use to really master all of those new sounds. I particularly love this as a side note just because this gives me a whole other vocabulary that I can use that are like shortcuts with the people I'm working with. So if I'm working with someone and they say, I can, and they're going for an American accent, it becomes like shorthand. I can say, can you make that wider? You're making it this shape. Can you make it more this shape? And then can becomes can. I can, which is much more American. So it's something that works for some people and other people don't find it as effective, but give it a try. If it works for you, great. And if it doesn't, skip it. Next tip. Tip number 4, watch and listen. Okay, so now you've built up your awareness of your own mouth when you speak, it's time to start working on your observation skills when other people are speaking. Our bodies naturally imitate and mirror what they see as well as what they listen to. So audio recordings are super useful when you're working on accents, but what I've found over the years is that people have more success when they imitate someone that they're actually looking at. So go on YouTube, find videos, find a friend who speaks with the accent you're working on, and watch them talk as you're listening. Watch out for things like how much do they open their mouth, or how often do you see the tip of their tongue, or how often can you see this part of their mouth going in and out, like that. All these little clues to how they make their sounds are going to help you in your accent. Number 5, watch and don't listen. Okay, so this is a great little exercise. It's kind of like a game that I do just for myself to keep my observation skills sharp and also with the people I work with. So find something on Netflix or on YouTube, start playing it and put it on mute and just watch the people speak, see what differences you notice, see if maybe you can identify what accent they're speaking with just by watching them. Who knows, you might be able to. As a little experiment, I'm going to put 2 little clips after this video, both on mute, of me speaking with 2 different accents. And I want you to see if you can identify which of those accents is the American one. And see if you could work out maybe which other accent I'm using in the opposite video. You never know. So once you get really good at this, it just gives you another tool to use, right? All of this is about building up skills so that you're not totally dependent on listen and repeat when you're working on accents. On to number 6, the thinking or hesitation sound. The hesitation sound or the thinking sound is the sound that you make without thinking about it when you don't know what to say or when you're trying to remember a word or stay with your train of thought. So, like that. And every accent has a slightly different sound that they make. They might be really similar, but some of them are very different. If you go into Scotland, instead of which is very American, you hear more which is completely different. This is really important because this tells you where the neutral place is for that accent. So if you can focus on imitating that thinking sound really well, and then start your mouth and your tongue and your whole musculature from that place, you're going to nail the accent much, much more easily. On to number 7, history, culture, atmosphere, vibe, climate. Basically, do your research. Okay, so by research, I don't mean like an extensive linguistic exploration of an accent and where it comes from, but there are some things that you can find out that might be helpful. So, for example, climate is a really easy one, and there are exceptions to every rule, but it's nice to know the rule to begin with so you can play with it. For example, in general, if you're from a really cold climate, our bodies respond to the cold by closing up, right? All the muscles tend to be more tense. If you're really cold, your shoulders go up. You tend to make this position, and the same thing happens with your speech. If you're from a really cold place, you're probably not going to open your mouth as much as someone who's from a real hot place where everything's a little slow or a little more open. Do you know what I mean? So those kinds of things can be really useful. Look at, are they in a city? Are they in the country? Do they have a job where they might need to speak really loudly all the time? Are they always in an office, and are they very reserved? So maybe if they've got this sort of quiet tone, that might affect their accent as well in some ways if they never raise their voice and they're quite timid. All of these things can help you to make it more than just I'm imitating someone, to really make the accent your character's or your own. So use it. Why not? Number 8, intonation or find the music. Intonation is the melody or the music of your speech. So the best example of this that everyone knows is if you ask me a question and I reply, you know exactly that I mean I don't know. But I don't even have to say those words because is such a clear intonation that you know exactly what I'm trying to tell you. So the more that you can pay attention to people's intonation when they speak and not only the actual sounds, the more natural and easy your accent is going to sound, and the more convincing it's going to be even to people who are native speakers of that accent. So start paying attention. Start paying attention. Da 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 da. Where's the music? What's the rhythm? How's it going? Da 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 da. How's it going? Da 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 da. They're totally different, and the more you can pay attention, the more you'll naturally start to imitate those intonation patterns as well. Another exercise that's really good to do for this is to actually slow down audio a little bit. The more you slow it down, the more you kind of hear those ups and downs of all of the notes that people use when they're speaking. So I'll put in an example of that after this, and hopefully you'll see what I mean. Where are you going? Where are you going? So I hope you heard it there a little bit. This is something that's really easy to do if you ever get stuck. So if you're watching a clip on YouTube or something and you're just like, what are they doing there? That sounds different, but I don't know why. Take your phone or your computer, just try to record the audio and then slow it down. It might be the intonation that's throwing you, and if you do that, you might work it out. Number 9, sounds. More specifically, what's different and what stands out. Right, so it's time to talk about learning how to actually change the sounds and identify them. The thing I get asked all the time is, I don't know what to do because I don't understand IPA and this phonetic alphabet and all these symbols. I just don't get it. I'm totally lost. You know what? If you have the IPA alphabet and all these symbols totally memorized and in your head and you love them and you work with them and they work for you, great. But if you don't, that's not a problem. Being able to identify a symbol and say, aha, that symbol is this sound, doesn't necessarily mean that you're able to pronounce that sound correctly. So if you don't understand phonetics, don't worry about it. It's not going to stop you being able to really get an accent down. The thing that you need to focus on is what is different, what sounds sound different to you, what are the really identifiable things that you hear when you're listening to someone speak with an accent. So that might be, instead of saying car, that this person says car. Maybe instead of saying but, in this accent they say but. What's different there? Is it the B? No, B's the same, forget about it. Is it the U? Yeah. What about the T? Is that a little different? Well, yeah, it is. At least when it's at the end of a word, it's different. So you can kind of work out these little things on your own. There's also a lot of information online about them. So if you Google any accent, Australian accent, you'll get all this information about all the different sounds. You'll get videos, all kinds of things. And I'll be making some videos along those lines as well in the future this year. So just don't get too caught up on, oh my God, there's all these sound changes and I don't understand it and there are these weird symbols. Don't worry about it. Just focus on what's different. Try to identify it. Try to imitate it. Try to feel what it feels like in your mouth and then go from there. Last but not least, number 10, record yourself. I know. A lot of you are thinking, no, I hate recording myself. I don't want to listen to myself. It's horrible. No, I don't want to. I didn't like to at first either, but I've discovered, and everyone I've worked with all these years has also discovered, it's really important. And it's really important to do it and listen to it. Don't just do it and go, recorded, done, did my homework, Holly. Really take the time to listen because your brain will play tricks on you, right? So you might be working away and thinking, yes, I'm totally nailing this. And then you listen back and go, I'm aiming for New York. How do I sound like a cowboy? Or on the flip side, maybe you're working away and you're going, oh God, I'm not getting this accent. It's really awful. And then you listen and go, huh, I'm totally nailing it. You never know. And you won't know until you actually listen to it back as a recording. So do it, please. It's also a really good way to work on intonation. You can do that thing that I did before of record yourself, slow it down. If something's sounding off and you're like, I don't know what it is, slow it down, listen to your intonation, and see if maybe you can change up those patterns a little bit. Okay, so record, 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 please. That's it for today. So thank you for watching. I know it's been kind of a long video, but I hope that you found some helpful little tidbits in there, and maybe now you have some ideas of how you might approach accents in the future to make it less stressful and a lot more easy and effective. So if you would like some more information about me or my coaching actors, I do it via Skype with people from all over the world. I can be found at www.hollyrenault.com, or you can email me with any questions at hollydialect@gmail.com. Also, please like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever you want on the video. My aim for this year is to post a new video every Sunday. They will not all be 15 minutes long, and a lot of them will be much more specific in terms of actual problems people are having with specific accents or specific sounds, exercises for the mouth, that kind of thing. So if there's anything that you particularly would like me to address or talk about, or a certain accent that you're interested in learning more about and how to do, then let me know below. Thanks very much and have a fabulous day. Bye!